Hello learners, NIOS welcomes you to Painting Subject Video Series. This is Lesson 17, Murals and Painting, Part 2. The Padma Pani Bodhisattva mural at Ajanta. You remember we learnt about this famous mural in Lesson 3 as well. The murals at Ajanta, basic introduction. These murals were discovered in 1819 by British Army officer John Smith. They discovered total 30 caves at the Ajanta complex, out of the 30 caves, there was one which was unfinished and the rest were made. Out of the 30 caves at the Ajanta cave complex, 5 of the caves are dedicated to study of the monks, and these are known as the Chaityas, and the others are called the Viharas, which are the rest or the living halls. In those days, monks who had left family life, renounced the world for spiritual enlightenment, used these caves for their study and their living. In fact, all the caves at the Ajanta had paintings, but only the ones at cave number 1, cave number 2, cave number 9, 11, 16 and 17 still have the paintings which are discernible. For example, you see cave number 3, 4, 5 are not mentioned here. The reason being, these paintings over the years have been lost or cannot be discerned, are not seen clearly. But the ones in 1, 2, 9, 11 and 16, 17 are still discernible, the paintings can be seen. The theme of the paintings at the Ajanta caves, the murals, primarily were based on Buddha's early life, that is the Jataka, as well as Bodhisattvas and life of Buddha. The first painting is Padmapani Bodhisattva or the lotus holding Bodhisattva. The medium is tempera, that is dry fresco, size 174 centimeter. So, it almost life size. The period is second, that is 200 AD to 6th century or 600 AD, and this mural is at Ajanta cave in Aurangabad, Maharashtra. The Padma Pani Bodhisattva description. This mural is life size, that is, the proportion is similar to a human being. Depiction is very real and it is in cave number 11. The Bodhisattva in this painting is adorned with pearls, amethysts, lapis lazuli and other precious gems. The Bodhisattva is also wearing a crown which signifies his royal lineage. The figure is holding a lotus blossom in his right hand, and that is the reason he is known as the Padma Pani, holder of the lotus. So, Padma is lotus, and this also has a story. The reason why the figure is holding the lotus, because Pankaj or the lotus grows in water which is supposed to be full of scum or dirt, but the lotus, the beautiful flower, is significant of quality, even though there is a lot of negativity around or dirt around. And similarly, that is what this painting of Bodhisattva holding the lotus. The eyes are lowered, which means it is symbolic of a meditative state of the Bodhisattva, and the features you see is a calm, fine featured face and a very proportionate body, realistic like a human being, lifelike, and signifies a refined man. Preparation of the surface for mural painting. The first step is that the surface, which is the rock face, wherever the painting is being made, needs to be made plain. How is that done? We use a chisel and a hammer, and the entire rock face is made plain. The second step is applying a layer, which is the first layer of mud mixed with sand or rock grit, along with vegetable fibers, paddy husk and grass. All these items are mixed together to become the first layer applied on the plain surface. So, you have the first coat, then the second layer of the same materials, but much more finer. So, mud, fine sand, rock grit and the other fibers, finely crushed, or to ensure that the second layer is much more finer. And then the final layer is lime or calcium carbonate, which is made into a viscous liquid form and applied over the other two layers, and that is the surface. When the surface is ready, you would make bold outlines and then accordingly fill colors. That is the preparation of a surface for mural. Now we will learn about prints. Prints basic information. Blocks can be made of various materials. So, we have wood blocks, rubber blocks, for example, lino are made out of material like rubber. So, you have tires also made of rubber, and lino are also, linoleum is a rubber like material. Then you have wax, which can be used to carve and make blocks, and you also have soap, which can be carved easily to make blocks, and all these items can be used the desired figure or the design, for example, a Ganesha face or a floral design. For example, if somebody wants to have a Ganesha face, so you will first trace it on a paper or a tracing paper. So, the Ganesha face first is traced, then you would use it to carve the same. Using the tracing paper, you use the tracing paper, then you carve the same on the surface of the material which you are using for making a block. After the engraving and the carving, the essential features are taken care of. Then you can use any kind of ink, could be black or colored, and the same thing you apply on the block and make impressions. Black or colored ink is used for printing. You can use any kind of ink, colored or whatever, and the same is used to make the impressions where you dip the block, and these designs can be used to make cards, greeting cards like bags or lampshades, etc. There can be many uses of the block. It can be used to design various kind of things. The advantages of block printing technique are the first, that it can be used for years. The blocks, they do not change, the design remains the same. So, you can use it for years and years. B, many copies can be made in a very short time. So, the impressions, you just need, since the block, the design is ready, you would just need to dip it in ink and keep on making the impressions. That is an advantage. And C, the uniformity of all the impressions, because the blocks are the same, the design is the same, there is a uniformity. So, if you make a Ganesha face, the same uniform shape can be impressed. Now, we learn about the lino printing technique. Lino are the sheets of linoleum which are engraved and then printings are done, prints are made. Lino cut is the name, the title of this artwork. The medium is block print with lino cut. So, the block is actually the sheet of linoleum which is engraved or carved upon. The period is contemporary because we are using it now. Artist is unknown and the collection is at private source. Lino cut general description. You would see that this particular lino cut has a combination of floral as well as geometric shapes. The engravings have been done in these two kind of shapes, and the lines are curvy and straight both. Also, lino engravings and the print give a 3D kind of a view. What is the technique of making a lino cut print? So, you have to take a linoleum sheet and the design according to the artist's idea has to be carved on a lino block using various kinds of carving tools specially made for lino carving. So, when the design is ready, the print, before the print, a flat surface is used to spread color, and then the carved lino is pressed on the color which is spread on a flat surface. Now, the lino has color on it. So, the design part has color on it, which becomes a block which can be used on paper or any other material to make the imprint and make copies and impressions of the same. Now we learn about printing with vegetables. Before this, we were printing with materials which were wood, clay, lino, etc. Now we use vegetables to make the blocks. Printing with vegetables, basic information. In this technique, whatever vegetable you are using, the same shape is used again and again. Sometimes maybe slight changes are acceptable. What are the kind of vegetables we use? We can use potato, we can use sweet potato, okra or the ladyfinger, capsicum, onion, and also the lotus stem. These vegetables can be used cut in cross section or lengthwise to make blocks. Okra or the ladyfinger or the capsicum or the bell pepper or the lotus stem as well, if cut cross section wise, gives floral shapes. You can see the shape looks like a flower, whereas when you use potato, yam, sweet potato, when these vegetables are cut either lengthwise or cross section wise, these can be used for printing numerals, letters or simple shapes. For example, in the picture you see the word ma is made. So, it is carved first and then the image is made through an impression, but we have to be careful to remember that the reverse or a mirror image, for example, A looks the same both sides, so won't be a problem, but R, when made the proper way, when you are going to make a print, it is going to be the reverse. So, it is important that in the block you carve the mirror image or the reverse. So, R, if made the other side, a reverse image of R or the mirror image, when put on the print will come out correctly. So, this we have to remember. Print or the prints which we have using vegetable blocks, there is no title. The medium is printing with vegetable blocks. You are using vegetables to make these designs, these prints. The period is contemporary. Artist of this particular prints is unknown and the collection is at a private source. Print with vegetable blocks, description. The lotus stem or the ladyfinger can be used for floral shapes. When you cut it cross section wise, you can see that the insides look like a flower. Capsicum, when cut cross section wise, looks like a tortoise. So, the tortoise print is made by capsicum, cutting it cross section. Potato, sweet potato or yam can be used for making or engraving the letter print. So, you carve it. For example, the word ma in Hindi here has been carved, and hopefully you remember that we explained that the mirror image or the reverse image has to be carved. Blocks can be made from vegetables which are cut either cross section wise or it is cut lengthwise. In certain vegetables it has to be lengthwise, and certain vegetables it has to be cross section wise. For example, the potato or yam can be cut cross section or lengthwise, and once the block is ready, you dip it in color and gently press on the sheet to get the desired impression. Prior to this, we learnt about printing with blocks made of wood, wax, clay. Then we learnt about printing using vegetable blocks. Now, technique of printing with fingers and thumbs. Printing with fingers and thumb, basic information. This is simple and easy technique. You can use your thumbs, you can use your fingers, you can use your palm, and you can use your sole to make designs. The colors, you can use ink or watercolor. And you can also use oil color or acrylic colors. After the basic impression is made, you can use pen, pencil or brush to add creativity and new forms. For example, suppose you're making a kind of a sea animal with tentacles, you can use your hand for the shape, and the tentacles are your fingers, and you can add extra creativity by using pen, pencil or brush to add eyes or nose in the body of the creature. Thumb, finger, palm and sole printing. The title: Bear, Tiger and Birds. Medium is thumb printing. Period is contemporary. Collection is private. The general description of this print: the figures are made using your thumb. You can choose what kind of animal you want to depict, and according to that, use your thumb or your sole or the palm to make impressions. First, you will dip it in color, touch your fingers or your sole or your palm, whatever the case might be, and then use it to make impressions. The images look lively and interesting. The print birds on a tree branch are created using thumb prints. As you can see, the branch is painted, and on top of that, with the use of thumbs and some additional use of brush for the form and creativity. On the other side, the bear and the tiger are made using the sole and the palm. The tiger, as you see in the print, is made by the palm, the shape, and on top of that, there is some additional work with the brush or the pencil. For example, the tail can be added, the face can be added. For the bear, you have used the sole, and additional features are added by the pen, pencil, or brush. Even in the birds on a tree branch print, the beak, the eyes, the tail, extra features have been added using the brush to add form and creativity. I hope you enjoyed watching part 2 of the lesson. If you have any queries, please email us at the rate signlanguage@nios.ac.in. For more information, you may visit our website www.nios.ac.in. Thank you.